LOS40.
Hey Ed, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Don't know if you remember me from last time we talked when
I
you
remember,
released
yeah.
What Habits.
Yeah, I remember. Same
And
same
now you're
room as
about
well.
to release. What?
I'm in the same room as well. So
Yeah.
there's no change.
Me too. And now you're about to release your new album, Equals. How about that?
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, I feel prepped. I feel there's nothing else I can do now. I've done all the album work was done, and now all the like interviews and performances are done, and whatever happens. We'll see.
How would you define Equals? Is there a concept that defines the whole album?
Yeah, well, equals is the kind of an end to a question and the start of an answer. So it's sort of like me segueing out of the end of my 20s into my 30s, I think, becoming a dad and all of that.
I saw on Twitter something like, I can't believe Ed Sheeran invented math.
Yeah.
That's a joke, but I liked to talk not about the name of your albums, but about the album covers, the evolution of the covers during these past 10 years. Because Plus is orange, X is green, Divide is blue, but Equals is so colorful. Why the butterflies? What does it mean?
I felt like everything in my life had pointed towards a new life. Everything feels different. I felt like, a butterfly comes out of a cocoon and starts again, I guess. But yeah, it just feels like new life.
I've been listening to Equals and songs like Two Steps or Stop the Rain, like take me to early 2000 vibes, like Justin Timberlake dancing moves and all that stuff.
Sure.
But Tights is a song that asks for a band, is crying out for a drummer. I know you've been asked this question, but what about the band concept? Because this record is so different and there's so many musicians excited to play music with you.
Yeah, I think my show will always largely be solo because that's what people know me for, but I'm going to introduce instruments, but just not like, it's not going to be like the full show is going to be a band. I think there's going to be like little bits here and there.
And this album comes 2 years after number 6 collaborations project, and actually 2 years is not that much, and you made this hiatus and your fans felt like the end of the world, but I think it is because my generation consume music so fast. And I remember my father listening to the same album for years and not getting tired of it. And I don't know what you think about this way of consuming music. Like, have you ever felt under pressure when it comes to release new music?
Well, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because that is what you think people consume music like. But I've had 3 albums that, like, Multiply and Divide are still in the top 30 albums in I think Divide's in the top 10 albums still. So like, people still like listening to the same album. I think the key nowadays is a little bit of everything. I think Collaborations project was just fun singles that were here and there, and that felt like a write it and release it type thing, whereas Equals, Divide, Multiply and Plus are all, I've crafted them as albums and I'll release them and they'll have a longer shelf life, I think. But I also number 6 Collaborations has its place in the world. I think I will do more records like that you just kind of chuck out. But I think when you take time and make an album, they do live on. I
think Adele is quite an example of what we're talking. Like, she's been 6 years taking care of herself.
Yeah.
And it's not that easy to have an album, not a good one, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Adele is the prime example of an album artist. People always anticipate her records. I think people anticipate Taylor Swift records. I think people anticipate Bruno Mars records. I think people anticipate Drake albums. I mean, Drake does mixtapes in between as well. So he's got these fun moments, and then he has the carefully crafted albums. So it's just, different strokes for different folks.
And artists like Anne-Marie, so Adele, talked about therapy and mental health, how important it is to talk about that and to take care of ourselves. But have you ever been to therapy? Like, what do you think now you have a daughter about this?
I've never been to therapy, but I write songs. So I think songs are a form of therapy because I get out all my thoughts and feelings into music. But yeah, I think it's really important to talk about how you feel. Men really don't. I mean, I say to my wife, because she goes to these girls' nights with her best friends and they sit around, and what she says, every single one, someone will cry. And it will be because they actually let their thoughts and feelings out. Whereas I hang out with my guy mates and it's just like beers, lads, and just like a kind of fun night. And it isn't until someone gets really, really drunk that they actually let their thoughts and feelings out. So I think it's important that we talk about how we feel, because it's good to do that.
I think this is kind of the British end of the year, because you're releasing an album, Adele is about to, and so will Elton John. And
Yeah.
I like to read this headline I found from a website. It said, Ed Sheeran and Sir Elton John are releasing a single together as they kick off the race for this year's Christmas #1. If you're joining forces, what about your personal projects? It's like the Squid Game.
Yeah, I mean, a Christmas song sort of exists in its own world, doesn't it? I mean, it'll only be around 1 month of the year for every year, but it's fun to do. Like, I wouldn't do a Christmas song on my own. I'm only doing it because I love Elton, and it's going to be a really fun Christmas to have with him. And yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this collaboration, this Christmas song?
He rung me on Christmas Day last Christmas and said that we should do a Christmas song. And I wrote the chorus then and there. And it was meant to come out 2022, and we brought our plans forward because we thought, why not? It's going to be fun. And
talking about collaborations, what can you tell us about that photo with J Balvin?
Oh yeah, man. Well, we'll see. Me and him are very, very similar as people, and I didn't realize until I met him properly. And we had a long chat. But I really like him, and we're talking about doing something, but it's early stages. But for me, I think it's the start of a really good friendship.
Talking about friends, Coldplay released an album, this Music of the Spheres, and you were on stage with them singing Fix You. What a moment.
I know.
Is Fix You your favorite song from Coldplay?
Yeah, I think it's a masterpiece. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Coldplay. I really take in their albums every time they release an album. I thought Music of the Spheres was like a musical. I listened to it all in its entirety, and I feel like an album like that, once you sort of get into the concept of it, you really realize how genius it is. I hope people dive into that album.
I don't know if you know, but you get 4 nominations for LOS40 Music Awards 2021. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And if you win 2 of them, you will be the most awarded British artist ever in our history.
Amazing. Well, that's very exciting.
What can we expect in plus, multiply, divide, equals, minus world tour? Will you come to Spain?
Yeah, we're planning to come to Spain in 2024, I think. Okay. I know that seems like a long time away, but this tour will basically, you're going to get the best bit of the tour because it's going to be so well rehearsed by then.
Are you wearing your own merch always?
Always, yeah. Well, I just like it. It's cool.
So colorful. I love it.
Thank you.
So thank you for this lovely chat, and you're so invited to LOS40 Music Awards. And
thank you so much.
Hope to see you very soon.
Thank you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.